Usame?
Yeah, that's
It's
how you say it. It's
Ousmane.
it's French. The N is silent.
Usame. Okay. Is it Jiang? Jiang?
Yeah, close enough.
All right. Jaylen Duran. Uh, Ochai Agbaji. Is that? I'm trying my best over here. I don't know what you want from me. Is that not it? Or it's
Austin pronounces names part 32.
Mark Williams. I like that one. Very Caucasian. Let's
Too
see.
bad he's very
Yeah, he's
black.
black though.
Yeah.
AJ Griffin, Tari Eason, Dalen Terry, Jake Laviera or Laravia, Malachi Branham. Um, so Tyler, we'll start from the top and we'll kind of touch on the big names here. Paolo, you know, there's some people that graded him as the number one overall. I know ESPN has him at the number three overall and even the third in his position. It just happens to be, top four picks are power forwards. Are you surprised at this pick? I know you're a big supporter of the Orlando Magic. Do you think this helps the team? Do you think they should have gone elsewhere?
I mean, I like the pick. I know a lot of people were thinking Jabari Smith Jr. was going to go number one. He was on a lot of big boards at number one. I actually didn't like Jabari Smith at number one. I thought the best player in the draft was actually Chet Holmgren, who went number two. But I would probably put Paolo at number two on my big board. I think he is a very good athletic forward. Um, Pairing him up with Jalen Suggs, with Cole Anthony, Mo Bamba, shout out Mo Bamba, Sheck West. I think it's going to be a dynamic kind of offense with a lot of young gun slingers. Maybe you get a elite veteran in there to kind of help mold those young guys together. This is a fun team now. Paolo he's a guy that is a leading scorer. Along with Jalen Suggs, who is a leading scorer for Gonzaga. Cole Anthony, who was a leading scorer. So, you got a lot of good athletic players around you. It's just how you tend to play with them. Now, Orlando, notorious for getting rid of a lot of their good young players. Name anybody within the last 30 years they've done it. But
Mm-hmm.
I give this draft grade probably a solid A- for sure.
Wow. Tyler giving the Orlando Magic anywhere above a C is just incredible. I like Paolo. I think Tyler, when you talk about NBA ready type guys, you look at his big frame. He's already got a decent amount of muscle on him. He's listed at the power forward position, but we saw a lot at Duke. He's good handling the ball.
Yeah.
He can stretch the floor. He's not like known for a 3-point shooter, right? But
Yeah.
he can knock those down. I just think like physically, because what he's kind of older, right? Did he play? Did he
No,
play?
he's 19.
Well, 19. I mean, what was Lamelo was like 17 last year. I mean, we're talking. I know it's not like years and years, but typically when these guys are one and done, they're like 17, 18. Um, but did he? Because he didn't. Did he play overseas like when he was younger?
No, no, no.
No.
He just went straight to Duke.
Gotcha. So no, I mean obviously good addition. I think the top three guys are pretty interchangeable. Obviously, a lot of times we come to find out years later. You look at like that Marvin Bagley pick that didn't seem bad at the time, but then it's like looking back on it, oh, you picked him over Luca. It's like kings are idiots. But
I
as
mean, look at the Greg Oden pick.
right,
You pick him at number one instead of Kevin Durant, best scorer of all time. It tends to happen, which this is where we may lead into the second overall pick. A lot of people thought that
hmm
Chet Holmgren was lanky, 7 footer, 190. I'm pretty sure. I'm about 20 pounds away from being the same weight as Chet Holmgren, and he's a foot and a half taller than me.
well,
So
who's that look bad on, you or him?
probably me, but I mean, he also, Slim Reaper over there looking like he's about to, pass out from malnourishment. So, I think I look like a daddy. That's all I'm saying.
You look delicious, Daddy. That's all I gotta say. You're like a little meatball, and Chet Holmgren is the chopstick that you use to pick you up.
I'll be the sushi roll.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, obviously, like a lot of high expectations for Chet coming out of high school. I don't know. I didn't see him enough. What is it, the WAAC conference that Gonzaga
The
plays in,
whack.
the WAC that doesn't get aired a lot. Um, I don't even remember. I feel bad. How did they finish in the tournament? They didn't do great, right?
I think they lost in the Sweet 16 or the Elite Eight.
Yeah. So
I don't
didn't
even
really
think they
get
made it to the Final Four.
didn't get to see too much of them there. I Thunder, I think we're going to be saying either way, however Chet shakes out for the organization. And I do want to say real quick before I forget, what's up to Game Trier 123? Appreciate you stopping by. What's going on, man? Um, Obviously, the past few years they've been active in trading. Tyler, they've stockpiled a lot of draft picks. So whatever happens, I have high hopes and ambitions for the Oklahoma City Thunder organization. I think Chet will be all right. Like you said, Tyler, a lot of KD comparisons. They put some muscle on him, and then even more so, they just kind of found his game. Right, the scouts and the trainers at the next level just kind of figure what you're good at and kind of push you in that direction.
I think Chet, honestly, a lot of people are saying he was the unicorn of the draft. I think he's the best player overall in the draft. You have a 7 foot guy who can handle like Kyrie Irving. There was a tape, that him crossing over Steph Curry in his own camp when he was a senior in high school, coming
Yeah.
out of Minnehaha, Minnesota, teammates with Jalen Suggs. I mean, this guy is an elite caliber player that knows how to win. He knows how to score. He knows how to block shots. He knows how to rebound. I mean, honestly, I feel like he's coming into his body type.
Hmm.
So, I mean, give him, 2 to 3 to 4 years. This guy's going to be a perennial all-star in the league. And, don't quote me on this, but quote me on this. I think he's going to be, a similar player type to Kevin Durant in terms of, leading the league in scoring, being an MVP, taking a team to the NBA Finals,
Mm-hmm.
perhaps helping them win it. This Oklahoma City pick, A plus plus, I love it. You're adding, Chet Olgrim with Shai Gilchrist Alexander, who I just love his play style.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Giddey, who was a triple double machine as a rookie last year. So they're doing the right things in Oklahoma City. It's just if they can execute to that next level,
Mm-hmm.
like in the past that we saw with Russell Westbrook, Kevin Durant, James Harden.
Yeah. I mean, it's gonna be tough to compare with those names, but like you said, Tyler, um, much like KD, it's probably not a question of skill and talent. It's durability. A lot of
Yeah.
those bigger guys that are athletic, a lot of times their bodies don't hold up that well, and they have, been plagued with the injury bug, and they got to fight through that their whole career. Which, as a fan of basketball, you don't want to see that. You don't want to see someone's talent or, career get overshadowed by injuries and such. But moving on, number three, another team with a lot of picks, the Houston Rockets, Jabari Smith Jr. So a lot of people had this guy at number two overall. At least ESPN had Chet, Jabari, then Paolo. Obviously, I think I have a phantom hair on my lip. I feel something, but there's nothing there. Um, so they switched it up a little bit. Jabari Smith Jr. Tyler, I don't know if you got to watch him play a lot. I really didn't. Obviously, Auburn, a powerhouse in college basketball this past year. I don't really know that they dropped out of the top five, right? Um, Bruce Pearl, right, is their coach. Does a good
Yep.
job with those players. Gets them NBA ready. What do you think of this pick, and how does he have a instant impact on the team?
I mean, I like it. I think honestly, it's a blessing in disguise for Jabari Smith falling to this pick. I think this is the team that fits him the best. Pairing up with Jalen Green and drawing a blank with the other guy that's
Kevin
there,
Porter.
Kevin Porter Jr. Yeah. Um, there's also another guy there, isn't there? Or is it just Jalen Green?
Well,
Jalen Green.
John Wall, but who knows what he's doing?
Well, John Wall said he's exercising his player option, so I think he's coming back to Houston. Um,
which makes no sense because him and Kevin Porter did not get along at all, right?
well, let me put it this way, Austin. If someone's saying you have to sign this player option for 47.8 million guaranteed money or go out in the free agency market and possibly not get that, what are you going to do? You're going to sign the player option.
Yeah.
Now it's up to Houston to either trade you or, keep you on the bench or play you. So there's only that many options. But I mean, getting back to Jabari Smith, I think he's a very elusive player in terms of what he can do. He's got a great outside shot. He spreads the floor out. He's a dominant big man down low. So, I think this is a great pick for Houston. I think this is what they were missing down low. They have a lot of great guards. So, I think it's gonna fit in well. I mean, obviously a lot of it, they're super young. They're gonna go through their growing pains. They're just gonna have to get through that. You're gonna have to have a guy like John Wall. And if it's not John Wall, then someone else to kind of push you through that to grow that team. But right
Mhm.
now Houston's looking like a young, exciting team, just like Oklahoma City, Orlando a little bit too, with the pick. So the top
Mhm.
three, I mean, I love this Jabari Smith pick. I'd give it an A minus, honestly. I think top three, you couldn't have gone wrong with any of the picks that there were. I think they're all pretty even in terms of what they offer.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Ali, I don't even know how to pronounce this name. It's like ALIDXB9. Anyways, thanks for the first time chat. This is No Look Podcast. Your boy Osoy, the man. Goddamn, we're doing a little bit of a
Cheers.
NBA draft recap. Cheers slash live reaction. It's bad luck to cheers and not drink, so
Drink it,
make sure I
bitch.
get that sip in there. Number four pick, Tyler. Again, don't know too much circulating this guy, Keegan Murray out of Iowa, power forward. Um, they had him at fifth overall. He got drafted fourth. The Kings are an interesting team. Obviously, De'Aaron Fox is kind of coming into his own. He's in the progress, I feel like, of leading up into being in that next level echelon of players. Did they still have Heald or did they trade him?
I think they still do. They still have Tyrese Halliburton from last year. So
Halliburton, yep, he was honestly because
they do
who
still have Marvin Bagley, too.
who who uh who won the rookie last year? It wasn't Ball, right?
No, I think it was.
No, it was Anthony Edwards, right?
Oh, right, right, right.
But Halliburton was like top three. That dude was
Oh,
balling.
easily. Yeah. I mean, he was killing it. And I think it's going to be a similar situation with Keegan Murray. Interesting fact about Keegan Murray, his dad played at Iowa. He played at Iowa. I think he didn't had zero, scholarship offers
Mm.
throughout, his whole entire high school career besides Western Illinois. Decided to commit to Iowa. Um, I don't know how, but had like 7 points or something like that in his freshman year, sophomore year. He's averaging a double double, 23 and like 11 or something like that. The guy's a baller. He
Mm.
plays in the Big Ten, which is a tough conference to play in. Defensively, they always in the Big Ten stack the defense. So, if he's scoring 23.2, points per game, this guy can actually score. He's a legit baller. I think this is a sneaky good pick by the Kings. At the position that they were at, I would probably give it I mean, I don't want to be too high on it, but I think I would give it an A minus. I think this guy is a really good NBA ready player. He's already polished to move on to the next level. It's just how the Kings allow him to progress, I guess you could say, because the Kings are gonna Kings.
Yeah.
Besides the old school Kings with Chris Webber, but we're not there
Yeah.
anymore.
I don't know. Who do they have? Peja Stojakovic. Is that who their like front office guy is now?
Vladdy
Or
Divac.
Vladdy Divac, one of those guys from.
Yeah.
um, yes, I mean we'll see. They're a young team. Obviously getting a little bit younger with this draft pick right here. So Tyler, I was kind of while I was distracted, I was looking into the details of that Knicks pick or trade rather. I still don't see what the Knicks got. at this point, I think I'm just gonna chalk it up to the Knicks being the Knicks, and they might have just given away Kemba Walker and Jalen Duran for free because I'm not seeing what they received back at all. But I guess we'll talk about it when we get to the Knicks pick. Number 5, Jayden Ivey, obviously highly sought after pick. Speaking of the Knicks, I saw an update of Spike Lee was out there like trying to recruit him, come to the Knicks, man. But I saw an article, Jayden Ivey, his mom played for like the WNBA team out of Detroit. His dad or grandfather played for the Detroit Lions. So Detroit really runs in his veins. This pick makes a lot of sense. Number 1 overall point guard in the draft. Obviously, as we just said, the Pistons acquired Kemba Walker. He's kind of a veteran locker room type guy coming off the bench. So I think this will be good for Jayden Ivey to have Kemba's presence there. And I don't know, we'll see what happens. The Pistons, they've kind of been bottom of the barrel the past few years, but they've made some trades. They have some young guys. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, I love what Ben Wallace has been doing in the front office for the Pistons. Kate Cunningham last year with that first overall pick, dude's an electric, scorer. Acquiring Kemba Walker, obviously with Jayden Ivey. I thought Jayden Ivey, played off guard, but I still think that's going to help him tremendously being behind Kemba Walker. He'd be a spark plug off the bench. Just a super young team. They're very interesting. They have depth or have size, I should say, with some.
Well, did they get Markkinen? Or am I imagining that?
Cleveland did.
Cleveland did. Gotcha.
But I think the most interesting pick or the most interesting facet of this pick, Austin, is that Jayden Ivey from Indiana, his mom went to Notre Dame, which is in Indiana. He went to Purdue, which is in Indiana. Got drafted by the Pistons. The next pick, Austin, Indiana Pacers.
Mm.
So I was talking about it and I was saying it out loud, and I'm like, man, if they just waited one more pick, this dude would have had that whole story, just like you mentioned with Jayden Ivey about Detroit, about Indiana.
Mm.
And his mom coaches Notre Dame, doesn't she? Or does she coach?
I'm not sure about that.
Pretty sure she coaches the Notre Dame women's basketball team or something like that.
Okay.
In Indiana.
a lot of coincidences there. So.
I do love this Jayden Ivey pick though. I would give it an A-. I think this guy is gonna translate very well to the pros, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
Playing with Kate Cunningham, I think that's gonna help him a lot. They got Sadiq Bey, big man. This team is just super young.
So Tyler, I'm looking at the roster right now.
They're gonna be great.
I would have guessed that Bagley was on the Kings still as well, but it says here he's on the Detroit Pistons. They do have Sadiq Bey, Cade Cunningham, Jalen Duren, which we'll get into, Carson Edwards, Luke Garza.
Oh, Luke Garza out of Iowa, bro.
I think. Wait, they just traded Jeremy Grant, right?
Luke Garza out of Iowa, bro.
Kelly Olynyk, and of course,
Luke Garza is a
Kemba
No
Walker.
Look podcast legend.
Why is that?
You don't remember when we were picking the NCAA tournament 2021 edition?
Well, we picked Iowa and they lost, right?
Yeah, but Luke Garza was the main guy.
I don't know how that makes him a legend, but okay, that's neither here nor there.
He's a GOAT, bro. Luke Garza is an absolute electric human being. He should be the starting center of the Detroit Pistons. I'm gonna go download NBA 2K22, put him on the Nets, put his overall to 99. We're gonna ball with Luke Garza.
Okay, you have fun with that. I'm not gonna do anything remotely close to that because it sounds miserable. He's a college legend for sure. He hasn't really made the transition yet to the NBA, but obviously second season. Tyler, number 6, Benedict Mathurin out of Arizona to the Pacers, which I looked up. I don't think he had a nickname. I think they just called him Ben, which makes a lot of sense, but also kind of reassures why I did not recognize him being called Benedict. My favorite player in the draft, Tyler, they have him listed here as the small forward. I really think that when he transitions into the NBA, he can shoot the 3 ball well, handle the ball well. Obviously NBA is kind of making that transition into more small ball. I can see him playing a lot of guard here for the Pistons, or excuse me, the Pacers. And I love this pick. He carried the Arizona Wildcats team, decently into the March Madness tournament. He came up big in tough games. I think he scored like 30 points in their win in the round of 32 or Sweet 16. Love the pick. I think he's gonna be good. Obviously Larry Bird, Pacers, they do a good job at draft and develop. We've seen Danny Granger, Victor Oladipo, Miles Turner over the years, so I have high hopes for Ben Mathurin.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna thoroughly agree with you. I think this is a great pick. And an even better story from Mathurin. The only reason why he chose basketball was because his brother, was a huge basketball guy. Ended up dying by being hit by a car.
Mm,
He ended up choosing hockey or choosing basketball over hockey because
mm.
he was from Montreal, Canada, or some part of Canada. So, really he owes this to his brother's backstory. So he plays for his brother. So you just gotta respect the guy that has that extra oomph in it. The whole spirit of his brother in him to play basketball. I watch him a lot at Arizona. The guy plays with a lot of heart. He's a tough guy. He looks like a guy that would beat the shit out of you. If you looked him dead in the eyes. I looked at him when he was walking down the stands to being up on the draft podium, and he just looked pissed off, probably being pissed off that he got drafted number 6. But
Yeah.
that guy, I'm pretty sure he won. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure if he won Big 12 or what was it, Pac-12 Player of the Year
Mm.
in Arizona. So I mean, the guy is he's a good player. He honestly might be sneaky best pick of the draft. Top 10.
No, I think so. Value pick at number 6. That's great. So, Tyler, I don't know when this happened. Clearly, there was a huge trade that involved the Sacramento Kings because Tyrese Halliburton is also on the Pacers. So pair him up with Ben Mathurin. That's going to be
Oh wow.
a good young duo. Pace,
That happened last year actually. Now that I think
yeah,
about it.
because also Pacers have Buddy Hield, which that I was thinking of. I knew that Buddy Hield went somewhere.
Oh,
I,
that's right. They traded DeMontis Sabonis
mm,
to the Kings.
hmm
That happened last year. I remember that.
Yeah, I don't know how
I
Bagley ended up on the Pistons, but
let me tell you something, Austin.
mhm.
The NBA is just like, and it's so hard to keep up with players because not only are their contracts, maxed out to 4 years, but also like everybody's getting traded. It's like soccer almost. It's hard to keep
Yeah,
up with who's on what team. Last year you would have thought that, Halliburton was with the Kings, but actually he finished with the Pacers, and now it's like all over the place. It's not like old school basketball where you play with one team till you die, or if you get traded, you only get traded once. So
yeah. I mean, all I know is that Dwayne Wade is still on the Heat.
yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, so listen to this roster though, Tyler. Justin Anderson, Malcolm Brogdon, which obviously a lot of speculation around him. He might get traded. Chris Duarte, Halliburton, Buddy Hield, Ben Mathurin, T.J. McConnell, Ricky Rubio, Lance Stevenson, Miles Turner, T.J. Warren, Gabe York. Um, I mean that's a fun young roster right there. There's like barely anyone over 30. I feel like the average age would be like low 20s. So a lot of interesting
Definitely my favorite player in
facts.
that team is Lance Stevenson, who is definitely over 30.
Lance, let's see.
Yeah, he's by far the oldest player.
31. Yeah.
He's 31. I would have suspected. Damn,
Dude,
Lance
he
Stevenson's 31. Wow. I
didn't
would have
he
suspected he was like 10 years older than me.
didn't he come out of high school though? Born ready? I don't think he went
No,
to
he went
college.
to. No, he went to. God, where the fuck did he go?
Georgetown? No, Cincinnati.
Cincinnati. That's right.
He was definitely young though. He's definitely a
That's
one and
right.
done. Wait, what happened to Jeremy Lamb?
He plays for the.
I thought he was on the Pacers. Oh, he's on the
He.
Kings. Well, he was part of that trade then. Shit. All right, Tyler. If we're not sure on
It's
a
like
guy, he's gonna be on the
transport
Kings or the fucking Pacers. I think that's
each other's roster. That's exactly what the Kings did. They transplanted everybody in Sacramento to Indiana and vice versa.
crazy. Pick 7, Shayden Sharp out of
Also, might I
Kentucky.
add, those are probably the two polar opposite places to be traded to.
Oh yeah. Uh, yeah, I don't know. Sacramento isn't great. Obviously, I'd probably rather be there than Indiana, but who knows? Maybe you're a
Yeah.
hunter, hunting, fishing, loving every day.
Uh,
Who sings that?
Probably not if Kenny Atkins.
Oh, okay, no. Luke Bryan.
Close enough.
No. Shayden Sharp out of Kentucky to the Trailblazers. Tyler, do you have anything on him?
The man of mystery is what they were saying about him, and they put him in an Austin Powers suit because he's the man of mystery. I'm pretty sure he was unranked up until 2021. Went on the circuit to the EYBL.
Hmm.
Absolutely crushed it. Then was the number one overall rated prospect out of high school. Went to Kentucky. Nobody's really seen him play,
Hmm.
but I guess what it's out there is that the potential is great, and this could possibly be the best value pick in the draft this year, based on what we've seen of this guy. So I guess it's kind of a question mark. He's very mysterious. He's an enigma. We're waiting to see what's going to happen next. So
Hmm.
this is a great pick. Who do you get drafted by?
Blazers.
Blazers. Great pick by the Blazers. Also acquiring Jeremy Grant last night or 2 nights ago. Dame Lillard's probably happy adding a little bit of roster around him.
Oh, he's got to
Along.
step in and just fill in CJ McCollum's shoes basically.
Yeah, I mean, and this is a great pick. This guy looks like he's got bunnies on his feet. He can shoot, he can drive, he can play defense.
Hmm.
If John Calipari sees something in you, then at the end of the day, it's got to be something right.
Incredible head of hair. I mean, the volume on that, you could hide a family of guinea pigs in there, no one would notice. Incredible. Pick 8, Dyson Daniels, first G League player drafted, point
Double
guard,
D.
double D, G League Ignite. So interesting here, Tyler. The way the standard is shifting. Now a bunch of guys opting to go straight into the G League, get paid and forego going to college. I mean, what do you think about the pick, and also what do you think about that new transition into a way of life for the NBA?
I mean, I don't know a lot about Dyson Daniels. Was watching a little bit of his film when he got drafted. Obviously, he looks like a pretty dynamic player. He's a guy that can attack the rim really well. Out of Australia, he chose chose basketball over rugby. So, he's a gritty kind of guy. He's ready to get in the trenches. But I love this. I love the whole aspect of coming from different places. Like, it's not only just college, and I hope in the future we get guys out of high school, we get guys out of college, we get guys out of G League, we got guys out of international, because I feel like the NBA draft or any draft that we're partaking in, it's the best of the best. If this is the best player that can come into the NBA this year, I want him drafted in this draft. I don't want there to be, stipulations to why he cannot be drafted. But I believe he's the third player to be drafted from the G League Ignite. Jalen Green, Jonathan Kamunga, who won the NBA championship this year, and now Dyson Daniels. Shout out
Mm.
Dyson. The vacuum must be sucking.
He's gonna. I can already hear it when the announcers he gets a steal. Dyson sucking up the basketball for the steal. I mean that's a layup right there, easy one. No, I think it's interesting. I don't know. There's got to be some rule in place, obviously, but I think why not allow people to go straight out of high school? Obviously, we've seen
Yeah,
players come out and have
some of
success
the best
before.
ever.
Yeah. I'd say because it has to be a sure thing, right? You know,
Right.
to forego college or like G League, anything like that, going overseas, you have to have someone in your ear like, we will guarantee you that we'll draft you or
It's
sign you.
No, you're absolutely 1,000, 1,000,000,000,000% right. It has to be like almost an
Look at
NBA
that.
scout that says, you know what, you have foregone any of my guys that are coming out of the draft, out of the G League, out of international, out of, the NCAA. You are the number one pick or a top 10 at least.
Yeah. Sign
Like
some kind of
Michael,
clause.
who was Kwame Brown came out of high school, like whoever, obviously there's a lot of speculation that Michael Jordan got in his ear when he was a rookie in Washington, but Kobe Bryant, Kevin Garnett, LeBron James, there's a lot of guys that coming out of high school. It paid off
Hmm.
for them.
NBA
Most of the time
champion Kwame
I feel
Brown.
like it does. So yeah, NBA champion, right?
Nah, I mean he still got paid. It worked out for him. Tyler, I'm just gonna shoot off some names. You can stop me if you have someone you want to talk about. We got Jeremy Sotian from Baylor, went to the Spurs. Another
Dennis
good,
Rodman.
huh?
Dennis Rodman look-alike.
Okay, yeah, he's got another good head of hair. I was just gonna say Johnny Davis out of Wisconsin,
A
going
walking layup bucket.
going to the Wizards there.
A
And
wizard with the rock.
you're a wizard, Harry, and you're a wizard, Johnny. Usme Jang out of the New Zealand Breakers. Was that the team that LaMelo played for? Because he was
No,
playing
that's
in
the
New
team
Zealand,
that
right?
no, that's the team that Barstool Sports owned.
No way.
Yeah, that was the team that PMT owned, I'm pretty sure.
Well, not it can't be fully owned, right?
Partially owned, yeah. That was the team that they owned.
I'm surprised I haven't seen anything on social media about them. Like, oh, we got our first NBA draft pick, first rounder.
Yeah.
Hey, they
I mean,
put a lottery pick to the Knicks.
fucking pretty Francais, if you ask me.
Hmm. Oui, oui. That's about all the French I know. I'm working on my
Fucking
Portuguese right now, though.
Oh shit.
Hmm.
Portuguese is harder than Spanish. So if you know Portuguese, you'll
Hmm.
end up knowing Spanish, French, Italian, and that's it.
Well, there's
Yeah.
a lot of similarities I've noticed between Portuguese and Spanish. Like
Oh yeah, there
maybe the
is.
words are spelled the same, but they're pronounced differently.
It's
Um,
just it's just a lot of it is where the word goes in the sentence essentially.
yeah, like I know their D's are pronounced a little bit differently. Like obviously, like Spanish, you'd say Buenos dias, but you'd say like Bom dia. Like it's like a more of like a d in to say good morning in Portuguese. So, your boy yo soy now trilingual. Um, I got to keep up.
Quadlingual. He's also fluent in thugonomics.
Yeah, I speak the language of the bad bitches. Ahaha. So let's move on. Knicks, just I don't know. The Knicks would pick a player from New Zealand that PMT owns the franchise of, right?
Which was Usman Jiang.
Yeah,
We'll see how that. I mean,
yeah.
Knicks are gonna Knicks.
Yeah, 6'10", small forward. We'll see. Jaylen Williams out of Santa Clara. I'm not sure if is that G League or
No, Santa Clara is a college. That's the
oh
one that Steve Nash went to.
oh is that
Yeah,
D1?
yeah.
Oh
It's whack. They play
ah
Gonzaga every year.
oh
Also that guy, just real quick, 7 foot wingspan. They had to measure his wingspan 12 times
why is that?
because it was 7 foot or it was
Oh,
over 7 foot. So they
and they
had to
just
measure it.
didn't believe it.
Yeah,
Oh, I mean I also had to measure myself a lot just to make sure the ruler was correct.
right.
But I mean I feel like
Twice a day at least for me.
yeah, just to see if anything changes. We're still grown boys.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still waiting for my growth spurt since 6th grade. So
Yeah, you'll get there.
here we are.
So now the hot name in the NBA draft, Jalen Duren out of Memphis, gets drafted to the Hornets. Still haven't seen anything, Tyler. Somehow he goes to the Knicks. And then the Knicks ship him and Kemba Walker off to Detroit. He's a 6'10 center, 18 years old. He's the number one center in this year's NBA draft. Be interesting to see. Pistons making moves, like you said, pair him up with Cade Cunningham. And then obviously they also have Jayden Ivey. I don't think there's going to be a complete night and day difference where they just make that, insane leap with acquiring these guys, but they're obviously going in the right direction.
Yeah, I mean, Jalen Duren, he's a double-double machine. I think he's a great asset to have on any team. A big body. Kind of reminds me, watching a little bit of his tape, of a Bobby Portis type. A guy that's a spark plug that's going to come off, score some points, get some rebounds, block some shots, piss some people off. And that's just, if there's anything that is to Detroit basketball, it's exactly that. I think that's why Detroit wanted him so badly.
Because he pisses people off.
Fuck yeah. Can't spell pistons without pissing people off.
Okay, I see where you're going with that. I don't know if that was the correct verbiage for that, but I know what you're saying.
Damn right.
I'm picking up what you're putting down, Just pick it up and then put it over. Okay. Anyways. So we got Ochai Agbaji out of Kansas.
Great pick.
Going to Cleveland.
Cleveland, 4-year player out of Kansas. One of the many, or should I say, one of the solemn 4-year players out of college. Won the national championship with Kansas, one of their best players. Solid pick by Cleveland, adding to their young team. Darius Garland, Jared Allen. Who else they have?
I mean, they have Kevin Love as of right now.
Culver. Do they have Culver? Jared Culver? No. Kevin Love. I mean, they just got a young team, and I think adding this guy at guard,
your boy, Jared Allen. Did you say him?
I did say Jared Allen. Jared Allen, the luscious head fro.
Chest pubes down to my ball fro.
Yeah, I'm glad that you got that.
Yeah, I know where you're going.
Yeah, but no, I think this is a solid pick. He's a great player. He's going to be a veteran rookie, I feel like.
That's so interesting because I feel like Kansas is a program that you see a lot of guys stick around for 4 years, but for me, I feel like that would be a place I'd want to go one and done. Like if you're at the University of Miami or you're at USC, it's like stay 4 years. Arizona, Iowa, Arizona State, like fucking soak it up as much as you can. But why would you want to stick around in Kansas for 4 years? I don't really see the logic behind that.
Probably one reason. That's probably because they're paying players, but that's here nor there.
We would just break some insider news. Bill Self and the Kansas Jayhawks paying players. Reported here first on No Look Podcast.
Why was Perry Ellis at Kansas for 47 years?
Yeah, I mean, I think that dude, when he graduated, he was a month away from qualifying for Social Security.
I'm pretty sure when Perry Ellis graduated, he was up for being the president of the United States.
I think his hairline went back and then started to grow forward again because it got so tired of it. It was just receding for so long.
I think Perry Ellis was on the front line of the abolishment of slavery with Abraham Lincoln.
I think Perry Ellis was in the trenches for Normandy.
I think Perry Ellis was on the forefront of creating the Great Wall of China.
I think Perry Ellis was actually renamed, but his born name was Adam, and he was in the garden with Eve. I don't know why we just trashed Perry Ellis for so long.
They don't call him Perry Big Bang Ellis for no reason, because that guy was a part of the Big Bang Theory.
He was the only caveman to survive through the whole thing. Goddamn.
Dude, fuck Perry Ellis.
Oh, okay. I don't have an actual vendetta towards you, Perry Ellis. So.
I don't either.
Well, you just said fuck you on a live stream podcast. I mean,
dude has a fucking hairline that's like back to his fucking middle of the scalp, so fuck Perry Ellis.
Okay. Fuck Perry Ellis.
Get him on the show.
Fuck bad hairline, according to Tyler.
We'll talk to him.
About basketball or his hairline?
Both.
or how old he is.
And how long what his social security number is.
I just want to ask him how Marilyn Monroe was in bed. That's all I got to know.
I want to ask him how it felt to be alive when they first landed on the moon.
Yeah. Or so-called landed on the moon. Some people think it might have been staged.
What did it feel like listening to the Beatles live?
Hmm. Yeah, that's okay. I'm gonna stop. We gotta stop now. We could just go on for days.
I would have thought that Kyrie Irving would have been a more popular, talking point in this show. Never would I have thought in all of my hours today that I would have spoken so much about Perry Ellis.
Yeah, you probably could have described him to me. I would have forgot who Perry Ellis was, but now here we are talking about how he's a million years old. Um, Mark
They should call
Williams.
it the Perry Ellis disease instead of the Benjamin Button.
I'd sign that petition for surely.
Yes.
If
Yes.
we start that, I'll sign it. Second pick out of Duke, Mark Williams going to the Hornets. Back-to-back Duke picks, AJ Griffin going to the Atlanta Hawks. Tari Eason out of LSU going to the Rockets. So I guess Rockets had 2 picks in the top 20. Dalen Terry out of Arizona going to the Bulls. Jake LaRavia out of Wake Forest going to the Timberwolves. Malachi Branham to the Spurs. Christian Braun to the Nuggets. Walker Kessler to the Grizzlies. David Roddy, I wonder if he's related to Roddy Rich, to the Sixers. Marjon Beauchamp. I probably butchered that like crazy. What do you think? Does that sound French or what, Tyler?
Beauchamp.
Beauchamp. It's something. It's something right
Yeah.
there.
No. Yeah.
Blake Wesley to the Spurs. Wendell Moore Jr. So Tyler, here's what I want to talk about. Duke Blue Devils now officially have 4 players drafted in the first round. Could not win the NCAA tournament. Where do you put that team up of all time, like caliber, talent wise, and not get the job done? Because obviously, probably the most notorious is the Fab Four, right? Or was it 5 out of
Fab
Michigan?
Five.
Fab Five out of Michigan. I don't know the stats on how many players got drafted in the first round, but I cannot tell you the last time I saw 4 players from the same college taken in the first round.
I mean, a lot of it has to be how everything transpires, obviously, throughout this NBA draft, like how they play in their NBA careers. But, you know, just based on 4 players being drafted, top 30 in the first round, it's got to be top 10 to me. I mean, how often do we see this as NBA fans that a team gets or a college team has 4, 3, 5 of their players drafted in the first round?
Mm-hmm.
Hardly ever. Maybe you get 2 in the first round, 2 in the second round. That's kind of interesting. But Duke had a lot of great players this year. I love that AJ Griffin pick. That there was Paolo, obviously a dynamic power forward. Refresh me on the other names.
Let's see. We got Paolo, we got Mark Williams,
Mark
AJ
Williams.
Griffin, and
Love that Mark
Wendell.
Williams. Mark Williams is probably going to be one of the best big men out of this draft. Mark my words. Wendell Moore, I think he was what was he? He was a junior or a sophomore?
Your guess is as good as mine.
Yeah, he's been at Duke for a while, for a minute. But he's a veteran rookie, like I said. So I mean, Duke, they like you said, Austin. I think Duke is probably going to be one of those top 10 teams that never finished.
Yeah.
In the NBA or in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, no, it's got to be talked about. So Tyler, including tonight, there's only been 14 instances in the history of the draft where players from the same college have been picked. Or let me rephrase that: 4 or more players from the same college have been picked in the first round. Um, tied at 6, we have 2012 Kentucky, 2015 Kentucky. At 5, we have 2010 Kentucky, 2008 Kansas, 2007 Florida, 2006 UConn, and 2010. They put that twice. That's interesting. And then we have at 4, 99 Duke, '05 UNC, '06 UConn, 12 Kentucky, 12 UNC, and 15. All right, this list makes no sense because they were just repeating numbers. Anyways, it doesn't happen a lot, just to kind of prove my point. So, interesting pick there as we're closing in on the end of the first round here, Tyler. I think we left off at Wendell Moore. We got Nikola Jovic. It's dude. Wait,
Yeah, you're right.
is it? Wait, is is
It's a mix
Jokic's name?
between
Is Jokic's name like Ci
Jokic.
Jokic? Wait, how do
So
you?
it's Jokic.
Okay, gotcha. So this guy spells it Jovic, and he looks quite similar to him. So that kind of put my brain in a fucking blender for a second. But out of Mega Mozart, I'm not sure what that is, Tyler. Probably something overseas. He goes to the Heat. Patrick Baldwin Jr. from Milwaukee goes to the Golden State Warriors. And then we got Ty Ty Washington from Kentucky going to the Grizzlies.
I
I
love
like
that pick.
I like that pick, Tyler. The Grizzlies, obviously we showed, you know, their talent in this postseason, putting up a good dogfight against the Warriors. The eventual NBA champion Golden State Warriors. They get John Morant back healthy. They get a lot of these young guys. Desmond Bain, Jaren Jackson, who Dylan Brooks played good minutes. Right, they have a lot of good players, and I'm expecting pretty big things from the Grizzlies in this upcoming season.
Yeah, I mean, John Morant's going to come out hungry. Obviously, there was a tweet that was put out today about Draymond saying, "Who wants to smoke?" Essentially paraphrasing. Uh, and then they were talking about Christmas schedules already in June, or
Hmm.
the upcoming season schedules, and the Warriors want the Grizzlies. So, John Morant wasn't backing down, saying, check that shit, old blood. I'm gonna come for your neck.
Oh, damn.
And yeah, I don't know if that's exactly what he said, but I'm pretty sure that's what he wanted to say. So, this Grizzlies team's going to come out with a lot of beef. I feel like they left the season with a stone unturned.
Hmm.
John Morant obviously got injured. We don't know what would have happened if he stayed healthy, but the Grizzlies might feel like they possibly got gypped out on a Western Conference Finals and an NBA Finals championship run. So
Hmm. So Tyler, obviously, real quick, the Grizzlies lose to the Warriors. The Warriors end up winning the NBA championship.
yep.
Steph Curry, right, 4 championships. He now has a Finals MVP. He has two regular seasons. Do you see the Warriors first and foremost, that squad sticking together? And if so, do you see them winning any more NBA championships?
I do see them staying together in terms of Klay Thompson, Steph Curry. They got to figure out a way to keep Draymond. I don't know if they will.
Do they need him? I
Uh,
mean, there's no way they're keeping Poole. There's no way they're keeping
I think they
Wiggins.
do cool. I think they do keep Poole though.
Ah, man. Well, next year I think he's
They
still on his
find a
rookie
way to, and I
contract.
think they find a way to keep Wiggins. I honestly, if I'm the Warriors, the last person I need to keep is Draymond. As shitty as that sounds, how many championships he's won with the Warriors. This offseason, this postseason showed a lot. They didn't really need him. It was
Hmm.
almost like a liability to put him out on the court. He would probably say the same thing if he was here. He wasn't the same player that Draymond was in the past. So I think that if they get rid of Draymond, keep Andrew, maybe add a piece or two, I don't think it's crazy that the Warriors win another championship.
Hmm.
Steph Curry's obviously got to play like Steph Curry and whatnot, but this Warriors team is still one of the best in the league for a reason. So
Yeah, I think majority of them will still be on the roster next season, so obviously they have to be the favorites. Peyton Washington, closing out the first round of the 2022 NBA draft, Tyler, out of UCLA, going to the Oklahoma City Thunder. So they got what, three picks in the first round, as I was, aforementioned their plethora of picks they had. So let's switch gears real quick. We only got a couple minutes left as Tyler's yawning. It's late over there on the East Coast. A lot of speculation, Tyler. Brooklyn Nets,
Yep.
Kyrie, KD, where they're going to be playing for next season. What's your gut reaction, and what do you hope for the upcoming NBA season?
Well, my gut reaction, if I'm being completely honest, this is just NBA summer rumors. There's a lull in the NBA season right now. A lot of teams are, hoping for some rumors to cause some trade reactions and media buzz. And I honestly think, if I had to guess, Austin, that Kyrie Irving will be a Brooklyn Net next season alongside Kevin Durant. I don't see that changing. I think there's a lot of uh, unfinished business that needs to happen. Now, if it is true, if Kyrie is going somewhere, I think KD does stay. Kyrie only can get traded, mind you, Austin,
Mm,
if the Nets sign Kyrie, because all the teams that he had given the Nets to trade him to are over the cap. They can't afford Kyrie unless the Nets sign and trade him. So there's really only one way to go about this. If the Nets sign him, you know, they're either gonna it's I don't even know how it's gonna work. They sign him, they're either gonna trade him or they're gonna keep him, obviously, right? But wouldn't it be if they sign him, they're gonna keep him? You would
mm-hmm.
think maybe they get a
Yeah.
juicy trade. I mean, the Mavs can offer Jalen Brunson, who had an incredible playoff run, for instance. The Lakers could offer LeBron James, maybe. I don't know.
Well, it's
At
not
the end
like
of
they
the
need him. Like they already have a better point guard on their roster,
who?
Ben Simmons.
I mean, at the end of the day, Austin, you just said it. I don't need Kyrie on my roster because he wasn't on my roster for half the season. We don't even know if he's going to suit up. We don't even know if he can play. We don't even know if he's going to be ready to play because he's so injury prone. I love Kyrie. Don't get me wrong. I think he's one of the most magnificent basketball players I've ever seen in my life when he has the ball in his hands. But if a guy doesn't want to play where you are, I don't want you to play where I am,
hmm
at the end of the day. I don't
Yeah.
want you to play for the Nets if you don't want to play for us. That's just how I feel.
Yeah, I mean the thing about Kyrie, and let me preface this by saying, like, I don't think it's a requirement to play professional sports. I don't think you need to have, full dedication of your life to it. But, that's what separates the greatest players of all time, in my opinion. You see guys like, MJ, Kobe, they're talking about they're up at 4 in the morning, they're practicing, and then like over to the NFL side, like Tom Brady's still out there at 40 plus years old. Ray Lewis, he's ready to die out there on the football field. Kyrie has interests outside of basketball, and much similar to Aaron Rodgers, and I think that's fine. But at the end of the day, that's what is gonna separate you from the best of all time, and just being a above average player.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I think Kyrie is probably one of the best point guards in the league right now. Um, the problem is that where his mindset is at.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think we're getting the same Kyrie that won the NBA championship in years past. Obviously, he believes in social reforms and whatever the case may be, which is totally, up to you. That's your personal preference. That's okay. But, as a fan, this is a business. As an owner or GM or whatever the case it may be for the Nets, we need to do what's ever best for the Nets. We only have KD for as long as we have KD. And what I mean by that is for however long we can keep KD happy.
Mm-hmm.
Because if we're not winning, if we're not getting a championship, KD's not going to be happy. Why would he stay here when he could go somewhere else? He's the best scorer of all time. Really, I'd rather cater to KD than I'd rather cater to Kyrie. So if we got to trade Kyrie for a guy that's going to pass KD the ball better, play a better defense. Hey, even show up on away games. I'll be happy.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I just want the Nets to win, and that's all that matters to me is getting that fucking first ring in the NBA.
Yeah. Well, I have a suggestion on how to keep KD. You sign Lana Rhodes to the roster and have her travel with the team, and then that might influence them to stick around.
Bro, if I could sign Lana Rhodes in general, I'd just be happy.
She got some good ball hand. Okay,
She got my middle name.
That's too easy. Oh, what? I thought she had a cherry.
Yeah, with John on it.
Oh, what? It says
You didn't
John?
know that? Yeah.
No.
Fucking look it up tonight. Do some research.
Yeah, well, not on stream, obviously, but confirmed or not confirmed, maybe Lana Rhodes got the tattoo after Tyler put his middle name on the cheek.
It's quite possible.
All right, I think that's gonna do it. We got an hour in here. I'm gonna gear up for a thirsty Thursday. I need to grab
How do you
another
feel
drink.
about the Knicks picks, real quick?
Trash, absolute trash. I mean,
Yeah. Hey,
I don't
better
know.
than the Nets. At least you got someone.
Yeah, one person. Then they got another good player, and they ship him off for I still don't know what. Probably a fucking broomstick.
Probably the team washer machine.
Yeah, they got a Microsoft Surface to watch themselves get beat up by the fucking Hawks in the playoffs.
They probably got Perry Ellis's video footage from back in the 1940s.
Yeah, that's what they trade for. Perry Ellis's birth certificate. It's gonna be in the
Dude,
fucking.
fuck Perry Ellis, dude.
Oh my god.
I want to fight that guy. Put a fucking Perry.
Tyler's at home. He's got the fucking Perry Ellis face on his dartboard and on his punching bag. Oh no, is he getting the Ginsu? Oh no, he's getting the baby Ginsu. Oh no. Oh no. Okay. Not IRL. This is all in game. In game. I don't know. He's got a real sword. All right. That's going to do it for this episode of the No Look Podcast. He was just showing off his skills that he's been learning.
Perry Ellis.
No,
I'm coming for you.
No, god damn it. I don't know if that's TOS. Dan, this is all Tyler. I'm signing off. I'll be right back Thursday. Goodbye.